So, in the conservation, next topic, in the conservation of biodiversity, there are two ways are there. One is in situ conservation, and second one is ex situ conservation. In the in situ conservation, so I'm going to explain. So, what are the ways how to protect the biodiversity within a natural environment? That is in situ conservation. So, this is the definition. So, in situ conservation, so in situ conservation, so it means natural or the original place. So the conservation includes national parks, wildlife sanctuaries, biospheres, and everything. This is about in situ conservation. And these conservation methods are, it refers to the conservation of livestock through continued by livestock keepers. And operations in situ conservation include performance, recording, and gradings. So every time is a continuous monitoring about the plants or those type of plant, every plants and animals. So it is a continuous monitoring. So is there any diseases are affected? So wildlife protection act, forest protection act, we have to implement it. So in the reserves, so that we can easily protect the total wildlife, wild plants, everything. That includes in the in situ conservation process. So minimum number of animals to be maintained 150 to 1500 breeding females in developed countries. So 150 is the minimum. So within this within this method, so poaching is completely banned in these areas, and and we are giving a protection to the wildlife animals so that the breeding process is and increasing in a natural environment, and the population is also gradually increasing. So in the in situ conservation, so these are the major parts are there. One is botanical gardens, second one is national parks, sanctuaries, reserve forests, biosphere reserve, bird sanctuary, tiger project, and crocodile project, zoo garden, conservation of waterland. So these are the few types of in situ conservation. So in the national parks, so in national parks is a park used of conservation purpose. And in these areas, we are protecting the animals. We are giving the protection. Here, the hunting is completely banned. So, a national park is an area having adequate ecological, faunal, and floral, geomorphological, natural, or geological significance. So the climatic conditions also supports the national parks. So the national park is declared for the purpose of protecting, propagating, or developing wildlife. I mean, in these areas, we are strictly implementing Forest Protection Act and Wildlife Protection Act. Although individual nations designate their own national parks differently, this is a common idea. The conservation of wildlife nature was as a symbol of national pride. So this is the major category, and national parks are also parks are almost always open to visitors. So visitors, that is, they allow visitors, that is through ecotourism. So the visitors enjoy the natural environment. Um, and most national parks provide outdoor recreation and camping opportunities as well as classes designed to educate the public to importance to conservation and the natural wonders of the land in which national park is located. And next one is gene sanctuaries. So this is a sanctuary, one type of sanctuaries. So here the breeding is supported to increase the population of that particular organism or a plant. The genetic diversity is sometimes conserved under natural habitat. So in other words, areas of great genetic diversity are protected from human interference. Um, that is, and in gene sanctuary is generally established in the center of diversity of microcenter. So this is about gene sanctuaries, and it is a yearly. It suffers from for wild relatives of citrus. So citrus is a one type of plant and there are some advantages and disadvantages are there in gene centuries. So the advantage is it protects the loss of genetic diversity caused by the human beings, human intervention, and it allows natural selection and evolution to operate. So this is the advantage, and the disadvantage is entire variability of a crop species cannot be conserved or in those areas, crop species cannot be conserved. Its maintenance and establishment is a difficult task. So we are protecting these crops, but the maintenance is because it is nearly more than 300 acres, 500 acres like that. So in this area, it is very difficult to maintain the total diversity. That is a disadvantage of gene sanctuaries. And next one is that is biosphere reserves. So these are the special category of protection uh, in the coastal environment where people are an integral component. So it serves in some ways living laboratories for testing out and demonstrating integrated management of land, water, and biodiversity. Biosphere. So here we are supplying nutrients to the wildlife, animals, and plants. So and we are the I mean to study about the plant varieties and to produce a new medicines we are using certain type of plants and animals that is in the laboratory testing. So for this purpose, um, we, we are protecting and, and developing those living organisms that is known as biosphere reserves. So in India, it is the biosphere reserves is nearly 18 areas are there, and all over the world there are 562 reserves are there in 109 countries. So there are some advantages are there in the in situ conservation. The species will have all the resources that it is adapted. So all the resources are available. I mean, water is available, food is available in their home environment. So the species will continue to evolve their environment. So they are not, transferred from one area to another area. The species have more space. So it's not a zoo. So the space is very huge space is available, and there is a chance for bigger breeding populations to get, and it is a cheaper to keep an organism in its natural habitat. It's very low cost. So this is the major advantage of the in situ conservation. Thank you.